That's
Good
why you're
morning.
pointing at me? Okay, all righty. Hey, welcome everyone to the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa on Motivation Monday. We're so glad you're here with my dear friend. Who are you?
Lisa Sinnott.
Yeah, Lisa Sinnott and I. And sometimes I'm a little shame about reading this part, but I'm going to do it anyway because Joshua told me to.
Yes.
It says, we are a dynamic team of business leadership expert and coaches who offer keynotes, emceeing, and facilitating interpersonal communication and leadership development to small and mid-sized businesses. We're based here in Colorado Springs, and our services are available both in the USA and international. Welcome to the Be Encouraged Show, where we provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-focused individuals to expand their reach and and create a positive impact here in the Colorado Springs community. Today's episode, as always, is sponsored by the incredibly handsome Joshua Aguirre and his company, Crescio. You can't see him, but we can. And they offer pay what you can consultations to underprivileged entrepreneurs in Colorado Springs and teach people how to leverage ChatGPT for their business. Make sure to visit them at Crescio.com to learn more. And our dear friend Christopher Roberts from Pro Media, Colorado's leading service for professional video and photo content with an emphasis on sales process videos to convert your prospects into paying customers. What a novel idea.
Yes.
Now check them out at ProMediaColorado.com. You want them to get more leads in your business? God, I was
Yeah, you need to take a breath.
That better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right. That's how she's only here to keep me squared away. Right. Visit us at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business name out there to our growing audience of 45,000 reach a week and growing. And our platinum sponsors have seen an 80% return on investment. Like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn to follow us on our journey to extend hope and encouragement and help people realize their potential through networking, collaboration, and community involvement.
Awesome. Well done, my friend.
Well, you're darn right. That's what I do.
Yes.
We're not going to do it well. We don't do it.
Yes.
Right. Lisa, your turn.
Yes. So, time to introduce our awesome our guests. Well, first of all, Kobi, thank you for signing up to be our panel host. Appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having us.
We have Kobi Rex. He's a sales consultant, passionate about helping sales professionals and leaders operate the most effective and efficient businesses to live the richest in all the areas of life.
Boy, I can't wait to explore that.
Yeah, that's kind of deep.
The richest.
Yes. And then we have Miss Barb Kunkel.
Yes.
Awesome. She is an 8th degree taekwondo black belt, 2000 Olympian, and martial arts Hall of Fame inductee. Wow. Ooh.
Those are a bad point.
Yeah. In addition to her martial arts skills, she is an empowering life coach, devoted mother of 2 adopted children, and a stage 3 breast cancer survivor.
We're so glad you're here.
Yeah. Welcome, Miss Barb.
It's a pleasure.
And Mr. Craig Domann.
Domann.
He is a current NFL agent with, is that like, what was that? Tom Cruise? What was it? Jerry Maguire. Are you one of the Jerry Maguire?
Are you Jerry Maguire?
I
You are
mean,
local
you know.
Jerry Maguire?
I'm Jerry, but I don't have the romanticism of Jerry.
Oh, okay. So he's a current NFL agent with 30 plus years and an NFL dad. Shares the principles of pro mindset, which helps you live out your purpose with confidence, grow stronger through adversity, and perform your best when it matters most.
Love that.
Welcome,
That
Craig.
is amazing.
And last but certainly not least, our dearest friend, Mr. Derek Wilson, is in the house. He serves as the Director of Development and Communication at Special Kids, Special Families, And he serves on several local boards and is husband to the beautiful Jaici
Yes,
and
she
father
is.
to their 2 sons.
Yeah, I always wonder every time I see Jaici, how in the world? did that
How in the
happen,
world?
right?
We want to keep this rated PG, right? So anyway, yes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm the lucky one.
Yes. You're blessed.
Yeah, she's a BOMB.
Yeah,
I'm telling
she
you.
And I need to hit her up because she does mosaics, you said. So she's artsy.
She's very crafty, yes.
Yeah.
Crochet is her main thing, but she does just about anything art. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anything artsy. Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Rex, we're going to start with you once again. As Lisa said, thank you so very much for being our panel host today. Awesome responsibility. And you, I don't know if you brought all these folk in, but you brought,
He
man,
did.
what
He
a
did.
panel,
Yeah,
dude.
he brought in the panel.
Yeah, I'm almost one about. That's
Yeah.
an amazing panel that you brought in for us today. But tell me a little bit about who Kobi Rex is.
Definitely. So I'm actually born and raised here. I was born at the Air Force Academy Hospital. And then went to college, came back, was an Air Force officer. So
Where'd you go to school?
I went to the academy.
Oh, you went to the
Oh, wow.
academy. You
Went
got
to the
born in the
Born
academy.
there.
and went to
Born
the
there. I can't
Graduated
believe.
there?
I can't
Wow.
believe.
Nice.
Oh my! Became an Air Force officer.
Became an Air Force officer, and then since then, through some connections, been doing sales for about the last 6 years, mortgage and staffing, and now have moved over to my own business where a lot of times I've felt where it's been really nice to be in my one specific business. A lot of what I like doing is helping people to organize their pipelines in a way that they don't feel like they're checking their phones every weekend and they're actually in control and have peace in their business.
What's the name of your business?
It's Apex Group.
Apex, APEX Group.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you married? Have children? Family? What?
Yes. So I have 2 kids, and then I'm married to my beautiful wife, Mikkel.
Awesome.
What's her name?
Mikkel.
Mikkel.
She was actually Brienne, but every person she grew up with was named Bree, so she moved to her middle name.
Oh, did she?
So yes.
And my daughter's Brianna.
Oh, just
Yeah, and my wife is Michelle.
Point well taken.
Right?
Point well taken. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Apex Group, we'll dive a little bit deeper, don't you think, Lisa?
Yes, for sure.
Into what that means and why the name and etc. Let's move on to it because I was so incredibly intrigued by Craig Domann over here, an NFL agent.
Yes.
Now, what are the odds?
You're my first that I'm meeting, actually.
Yeah.
I've never met one of you before.
Yeah, you can work from anywhere, can't you?
You need an agent?
Well, yeah, that's a good question.
Not for the NFL,
Yeah,
but hey. Well, give us a little backstory on who Craig is.
Okay, so first, my family. I have a lovely wife I've been married to for 38 years.
Congratulations.
I'm married at 12.
I was going to ask you it. You got married at 12.
Yeah.
And then I have 3 kids. I have a daughter, Riley, 2 boys, Jojo and Brock. And Jojo, like you mentioned in the intro, is fortunate to play in the NFL. He's just finished his 2nd season.
With what team?
He's with the Titans.
He with the Titans.
Yeah, he's already been on 2 teams, so he'll probably be on a few more. That's the way the NFL works, unless you're Patrick Mahomes or somebody like that.
What position did he play?
He's a linebacker, special teams guy.
Okay. Joey Domann.
Jojo Domann.
Jojo Domann.
Yeah.
I like that even
Did
better.
he know
That
since
sounds
a kid,
NFL.
like that he wanted to do that and go pro? Or?
Well, I kind of put my kids in an awkward situation because I took them to games when they were this tall.
Yeah.
I took my boys on like a road trip once a year. So like Jojo's been, to Dallas and Houston, different places to games to meet players. And, it would be unreasonable for them not to have that dream. And so they had the dream, but that dream was really difficult to do.
Tough dream.
And so
Yeah.
I warned my kids when they went into college that, football at that level is really hard. And the NFL's harder. And they, swimming upstream.
Yeah.
When you're doing that kind of business.
Was Jojo D1?
He played at Nebraska.
Nebraska. Okay.
He was a 2nd-team All-American his final season. Played in 50 games. He had a really nice, decorated college career.
Nice.
And then my other son, Brock, just finished at Louisville this last season.
Oh.
And he played football at 3 different schools. And Played 3 years at Louisville. Started 4 games last year, and then because the NIL and the transfer portal and new coach and all these things, he was QB2 this year.
Oh, QB2.
He
Okay.
played in a handful of
I
games.
remember that because I'm an ACC fan
Yeah.
from North Carolina.
Are you?
Yes.
His first appearance was at Duke, and his first start was at Virginia. So he started a few games.
Yeah, I remember your son starting in that game. I watched that.
Did you?
I did. Yeah.
So did you play a lot with them when they were kids? Like, unpack that a little bit as a dad.
I think the biggest thing I tried to do is allow them to experience a lot of sports. The best way to have your kids now follow in whatever their gifts are is to tell them they need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've
Isn't
told
that
them.
the truth?
Yeah.
Yes.
So our kids it's almost like polar opposites of what you tell them to do.
Mm.
And so I said, hey, play soccer. They played soccer, they played basketball, they played baseball, they played football, played flag football. But I think, I get asked a lot of times about how can I help my kid get there? You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. All you can do is allow them to reveal their passions, support their passions, and then see where it goes.
I so agree with that. All 3 of my children are C-suite executives in business. And it was like trying to help them, and I don't want to get too biblical. Some of you might not believe in that, but the Bible says where, raise up a kid in the way that they should go. We confuse that into thinking, raise them up in the way we want them to go.
Right.
But it says the way they should go. So find out what their direction is, what their passions are, and encourage that. And we did that with our children, and it turned out fairly well.
I've got one real quick story about my daughter. She was playing soccer, and I always had a phone in my ear because of conversations with teams or players. And she was playing goalkeeper, and she wasn't paying attention. She was picking the grass, and she was looking in the sky and counting the clouds. And so on the way home, I asked her, I said, hey, baby, why do you play soccer? She says, because you and mommy take me to practice. So that was the last time she played soccer, and we'd never asked because all her friends played soccer. So we thought she would want to play soccer. So then after that, it was take her to singing lessons, voice lessons, theater.
The way that she should go.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's excellent
Yeah.
that you saw that.
That is so cool. Yeah, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Most of our audience, and I'm adding up the numbers in my head a little bit. It seemed like you must have been married between 12 and 14 years before you had a kid.
I was.
10.
10.
Yeah. And I'm going, wow. So you and your bride really got an opportunity to solidify that and then have babies.
Well, she had a career in corporate sports marketing. So we traveled the world on her job, to Olympics, World Cups, and things like that. And we just, years flew by, and we realized, hey, we got to start having kids. So we're not going to have kids. So that started.
There we go. Yeah, Ms. Kunkel, I had to. Have you ever met Barbara before?
No, this is the first time.
Yeah, who introduced me to you? I think it was one of my clients.
Yes.
What's her
You
name?
put her in a magazine. Oh my goodness, I can't.
Her
believe
kid
this.
is one of your students.
Yep, and actually she is one of the students now as well. She's doing incredible.
She does a signing.
I just need you to know I have brain farts once in a while.
Yeah.
Because I just had breakfast with her.
Well,
Oh
I
my
worked
gosh,
with her
I'm
for
crazy.
9 months, and I can't
crazy.
even think of
Oh,
her
she's
name.
notary?
Yeah, notary.
Wait, which one? The brunette, the Air Force wife, or
Yeah,
the?
a Navy wife. Her husband retired from the Navy.
I'm so embarrassed right now.
Yeah.
Because they're
Okay,
so
show us all about
I'm
her.
telling you, I'm just getting older, and I've got these brain farts every once in a while. And
But that's
It'll
okay.
come to us later.
It shows more about.
Schaefer, Tiffany
Yeah,
Schaefer.
Tiffany
Schaefer, that's
Schaefer.
it, yes.
You weren't gonna
Tiffany
let it
Schaefer.
ride
Yeah.
until you got
Heck
that,
no,
right?
because she's important to me, and especially about how embarrassing.
Yeah.
You might want to text her.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
She's probably listening live, commenting.
I know. Tiffany Schaefer.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
we
North
got
End.
breakfast, so
North End Notary.
Yes.
right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Barb Kunkel.
For me, I grew up doing every sport there was. From Washington State, and as I got older, I played basketball. I blew out my left knee playing college ball, and was able to keep my scholarship the following year, only to blow up my right knee. And to me, it was a devastation. But if I would never have blown out my knees, I never would have gone to the Olympics today. And so to me, I think God just sometimes redirects our lives. What we think is going one path, our job is to continue on that path. However, if something happens, we don't have to take that and become a victim, as we were talking earlier. We don't have to become a victim. We have to say, okay, so what's next? And for me, I got redirected to martial arts. And was in karate first, changed over to taekwondo in order to rehabilitate my knees for basketball. Started doing well and ended up moving the ladder pretty quickly because I have, I gained a mindset, a confident mindset when going through my high school and college careers. And so it helped me grow fast. I had the opportunity to move out here to Colorado to live at the Olympic Training Center, be one of the first female athletes to live there.
How old were you at that time?
I was 20, in my 20s, my
Okay.
mid-20s, 23 or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, I had the opportunity, and then in 1996, we competed, and I was trying for the 96 Olympics, and we found out, I made our 96 team. However, they took us out of the 96 Olympics. We were in 88 and 92 as a demonstration sport.
Yeah.
And in 96, they took us out. And that was another major challenge for me. And again, I could have chose to, here's the victim. But again, I don't think I would be living here in Colorado if I would have gone to the 96 games, because I would have gone back to my family and everything in Washington State. But because I prayed about it with my parents and I talked it over with my coach, chose to make Colorado my home. And we ended up opening up a taekwondo school to alleviate the disappointment on this end. And what happens is anytime you take the focus off yourself and you put it on somebody else,
Yes.
then it's easier to get through those challenges.
Absolutely.
And so for
Exactly.
me, we would train all day. We would train 6 in the morning till like 3 in the afternoon, and then I would drive up to Castle Rock and we would teach from 5 to 9 at night. Then come drive back and do it all over the next day.
Who's
so
we?
to
Are you
me-
part of a team or?
Yeah, I lived at the Olympic Training Center for
Oh,
7
okay.
years.
Okay.
So, so my coach ended up opening up, and so to me, that helped me take the focus off myself and put it on others. And so many people would come to the training center like, "Man, you train so hard. I can't. She's not going to be any good at night." But the difference is when you take the focus off yourself, you're so energized because it's really all about others.
Yes.
Yes.
'cause
And
you're
so no
pouring
matter
into them.
what your challenge was during the day, then it has nothing to do with your people at night.
Yes.
And so I think it just really made a difference. It helped me get through those. And then in 99, that's when they announced that it would be a full medal sport in 2000, not just a demonstration, but full medal. And I had the privilege of competing and being one of 4 athletes that made that team. And there was 2 men and 2 women that actually made that team. And that was kind of a crazy in itself. But that allowed me to just be a part of a bigger picture. Our team came home with 1 gold medal. And so now, after the Olympics was over, I made Colorado my home. Ended up opening up a taekwondo school in Briargate area. We are actually now in Chapel Hills Mall.
Yep.
And now I get the opportunity to partner with parents and teachers to develop good habits in our kids. And to me, how can we help that next generation?
That's right.
And I always tell parents, we have a lot of Olympians that are associated with our school, which is unusual to a lot of schools. And what does that have to do with their 4-year-old? Well, to me, my job is, how can I pass on that Olympic mindset of we can do hard things? How can I pass that Olympic mindset of never giving up and that indomitable spirit? And so that they can achieve great dreams and goals in life as well.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm at now.
There you are. Yeah, what's the name of your business again, Barb?
Academy of Life and Leadership Taekwondo.
That was a lot.
Most people, most people want life and leadership for their children. They're not
That's
just
right.
about the taekwondo. Taekwondo is my vehicle
Yeah,
that I get to use to build those life and leadership skills.
absolutely. Yes.
And I will tell you, I wanted the A, so therefore we threw an academy in there in the front.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we're first on all the lists. She really does want the A.
There was a plan to that. There's a master plan to that, right? Man, Derek Wilson, as Lisa mentioned, very good friend to both Lisa and I. We've known him in space for quite a long time. Tell people a little bit about Derek in your organization.
Yeah, so I was thinking about what to say. I was thinking of Admiral Stockdale, and he says, "Who am I? What am I doing here?" Because I feel very humbled and honored and privileged to be among such really accomplished people. So thank you for having me. You guys are part of that group of people that's accomplished. So about me. Let's see, what would folks find interesting? I'm originally from the Midwest, came to Colorado via Flagstaff, via Phoenix, came up here in 2007. Spent most of my career in higher education, and so it's not quite the linear path of like, this is my passion and this is what I do. I kind of had to find what was my foundation of why I do what I do. Leaving higher ed back in 2016, at least as full-time, I went to Salvation Army, went to Silver Key, now I'm at Special Kids, Special Families. The common thread with all of it for me has really been about helping others, doing good, serving something greater than my own self-interest.
Mhm.
So, I believe very strongly that what we do in this life really echoes out into eternity, and I want to make the world a better place than what I found it. So, what really jazzes me, razzes me, whatever, gets me juiced up every day is knowing that I can make that difference to make the world a better place for people who are in need. So that's my foundation. So.
Yes.
Open up to questions that you might have. I guess a fundamental thing for me is that I describe it this way: intensity, integrity, and intelligence. And I do it for the alliteration purpose of the eyes there. But that intensity piece is that I'm very passionate about anything. If you have a conversation with me for very long, you're going to quickly pick up everything from food to politics to anything in between. I'm going to have an opinion and thought about it, and I come up very vim and vigor about it. The integrity piece is that I want to win, I want to achieve, but I think the ethic and how you get there really matters.
Yeah.
And so, I think that while you can look at the outcomes of something, I think efforts matter, because I think when you think about that concept of end justifies the means, that's a scary concept to me. And I think bringing along people behind you to know that there's not, I achieved, but look at the destruction of lives or people or whatever was there. And then finally, the intelligence piece, again, it's really there for the alliteration component, but the idea that you're really competent and confident in what it is that you do, what you're talking about. So I found my path here at Special Kids, Special Families. So for those that don't know, we're a 25-year nonprofit committed to making this the best community in the nation for those with disabilities, their families and caregivers. And we really achieve our goal in doing that through promoting, strengthening, and supporting through three essential pillars of service: our children and family services, so foster and adoption. We also do a day program, which for daycare for kids, it's the only in the state that's at the level of care or specialized need for those with disabilities at that level. And then adult and senior services, so it's across the lifespan. We serve a lot of adults and seniors through our day program, Joey's Place, and then through residential host home, which is basically like foster care for adults and seniors with special needs. And lastly, support and empowerment services, which is a big encompassing category for everything from transportation, behavioral, mental health, mentorship. We're partnered with Special Olympics and a variety of other services that we offer. So
incredible. Yeah.
Love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. It is. What a great nonprofit and what a great mission that you have. Kobi, you mentioned in your bio, live the richest in all areas of life. What does that mean?
I think for me, so my most successful year in business was in 2021. But for me, that was probably one of the hardest years of my life. That for me, I was tied to my phone all the time. It was constant stress, it was anxiety. And I feel like for me, I have moved into a position now where I see so much more grace in people's businesses when they can, instead of just always being like, well, we just hit a record last quarter, we need to hit a record next quarter. It's like, I feel like I'm watching my mom right now phasing out of her mortgage business And it's just, she has done an amazing job. And what I want to do for my clients is focus on how do we bring that balance of, yeah, she's a mortgage loan officer, so she has to take calls on the weekends. But where are you giving yourself that break? And as a consultant for that, how do we make your lifestyle just as important as having your best month?
No,
That's great.
Yeah.
You have to have that work-life balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
We call it work-life integration,
Yes.
right? Because quite frankly, work-life balance makes no sense, right? Particularly in an entrepreneurial space.
Yeah,
So,
especially in the entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how does that align with Apex? Why do you call your business Apex Group?
So basically, Apex was coming from more of the military side. So basically, Apex is the highest point.
Yeah.
So for me, it's how do we take you from where you are now? And a lot of it was focused not just on sales, but on search. And to really take one person from where you are now to not necessarily always the most easy thing to do, because I actually met Derek initially when we were doing some professional services together. And I think it was just, we've had lots of conversations about what is going to be best for my trajectory. And I feel like that has been the fun part about Apex is it's, for him, it was a lot of how does this fit into my family? How does this fit into my piece? And I think he did an amazing job in his, all the decisions we did together.
No. Okay. So you coached Derek?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All righty. So coached him in the 4 days a week. Yes.
I think that it's been a great opportunity to work alongside Kobi and just really take in and receive all the valuable information, the perspectives, the experiences that he's had. So yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome.
So
Yes.
Kobi, were your prior Air Force?
Yes.
So how did
Thank
you do
you.
that transition into the civilian sector? What did that look like?
And how many years did you
Yeah.
spend there?
So I went to the academy for 4 years, and then I got out. Actually, I'm actually medically retired.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, for what that transition looked like is, my parents had an Amway business for a long, long time, and one of our downline owned a mortgage company, and I already was feeling kind of less than challenged in the middle of Idaho doing nothing. So I was already starting to do some moonlighting with some mortgage stuff. And then after I was medically retired, I came over and started working over there. And the last few years just were crazy in it, and kind of just went through that process, and kind of just a lot of those things you learn in the military about excellence and really having to hold yourself accountable, that really translated over into the sales environment.
Air Force myself.
Well, thank you for your
Air Force
service.
spouse,
Yeah.
right here.
10 years.
Yes, indeed. So,
Thanks for your service.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. How many years were you active?
So I was only active for 2 years
2 years. Okay, before you medically
before I was
discharged.
medically retired.
Right. You know, the pro mindset, my friend, that people will find even saying those words challenging. So there must be a niche market for you, the people that you're engaging in this space. And how many clients do you have as an agent?
Well, right now I've got less than 20 between coaches and players.
Okay.
At one point in time, I had over 55.
Oh my.
But I've transitioned to the pro mindset part of it. And the pro mindset element is when you are representing players and you see guys that go in the first round, 50% of them bust. And then you see guys that come out of nowhere, like Pacheco for the Chiefs as a seventh rounder. Brock Purdy was the last guy drafted.
Yes.
And he was, without him, the 49ers might not have been who they were. So probably about 10 or 15 years ago, I started like looking for signs. I'm like looking for wisdom, like why is Derek doing this? Because he doesn't have whatever the teams are looking for. And the teams told me that you weren't fast enough. But then
Definitely
yet,
not.
most guys aren't. But the bottom line is you played at a very, very high level. So what I gained from that was constant dialogue with my clients. What I learned is that a pro mindset is your story, it's your standards and how you apply your systems, and it's your stage. So this is your stage for right now.
Yes.
Right? And in this stage, it's all of our stages right now. How are we performing? What do we wish when we leave? We're going to think about what we wish we would have said when we had the opportunity,
Yeah.
right? And so you fine tune after you perform. Every athlete does this. Football's the best at this. All they do is they go back and watch the film. The tape doesn't lie. And it's like, hey man, you took bad footwork, whatever it was, bad angles, whatever it was. You guys probably do the same thing. And we're gonna drive home and we're gonna be thinking about how we did. So your standards is how you do what you do. So when you talk about integrity, that's a standard.
It is a
right?
standard. Yeah, we call
And
them
then-
values in business, but yes.
But and nobody wants to talk about identity and your story, but every one of us has a story.
We do.
And our story that we have got us to this point today, right here. And when Barb was talking about her journey as an athlete, she was talking about basketball success and then dealing with some injuries. And next thing you know, she gets into a different sport and she climbed the ladder faster than most people. She leapfrogged people. I don't know her story, but I know her story. You leapfrog people. And it wasn't because of her talent. It was because of her story and how she saw herself, how she believed in herself. Because the same thing happens in sports all the time where a guy changes positions and everybody's like, what happened? He never changed. So what I do is I bifurcate belief and confidence. Belief is how you feel about who you are. And God created all of us perfectly.
Yes.
So if you don't believe in yourself, He does, so why don't you?
Mhm.
But your confidence is about what you do. So she had belief in herself from the jump. And that's why she was successful in sports.
Yeah.
And then when she changed sports, she had to gain confidence in this new skill, new sport. But her belief was still the same. So just like you guys, you may have great episodes, maybe some are average. It's not you. It's what you do. You can't beat yourself up for what
We don't
you
have
are.
average.
You don't have
Yeah, look at my face.
I
No
know.
average.
Your wife is the luckiest person on the planet. She gets to see that face every day.
I love it. Way to go along with that narrative.
Yeah.
You did so awesome. Yes. Do we have bad episodes?
No.
No. See,
So, Barb, I have a question for you. Over the last 6 months, what's been a big challenge that you've had to overcome, and how'd you do it?
You know, as I said, we probably the biggest thing. You know, my son has gone off to college this year, and I am elated working on that. My daughter's getting ready to graduate, and so navigating business life and yet not wanting to miss those opportunities and those memories. To me, to some that may not be a big deal, but to me it is a big deal because my
Should
whole
be.
life is, it's all about the memories.
Yes.
And we can work forever, we can do all these kind of things, but how do we create these opportunities and memories for others? And my children got the privilege of connecting with their biological mom this last year. And for me, at first, I was like, oh, you know, to me, I get along with everybody. So at first I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then I was like, what did I do? But to me, I think it was one of the blessings that God has brought into their life that just brings everything full circle. And their mom is incredible. They get the opportunity to kind of really feel who they really are. And as my son says, he started out life with a lot of challenges. And to get into college, he wrote a paper about his life story, as you were saying, the life stories.
Oh, yes.
And again, he just says, hey, Mom, I just want to tell you that a lot of kids who are either adopted or are out there, some of them, 85%, either end up on alcohol or on drugs. And I just want to say thank you that we didn't. And you have just taught us how to not play that victim, but, you know, how to take every challenge that we have and turn it into something that God is going to make for a bigger picture. And so to me, I think that's been one of my heartfelt blessings because they did have a hard life in the beginning. And now God is blessing them tremendously through a lot of other opportunities.
How old were they when you adopted them?
They were 7 and 9. And then a month later is when I got stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh, my.
Wow.
So again, it was God that's like, hey, why would, you know, to me, a lot of people were in tears over it, but I never was, because I thought, you know what, why would God give these two beautiful kids to me only to take my life?
Yes.
Now, plan A was to fight it, but I also was realistic, and plan B was I did create a will, and I did create all this kind of stuff if that did go south.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, I just think that the kids being able to walk through that journey with me, and I had some friends that just took us in. As a single mom, like a family with 4 boys took us in for a whole year.
Wow.
So now they took my 2 kids plus me, and I mean, what a crazy scenario, but yet God is always protecting us in so many ways. And like he said, your story
It's your story.
you know, you get to help a lot of people.
Becomes your story, becomes
right.
your purpose.
It's true.
Right.
Yes.
It leads
So to me, I thought God gave me cancer, or God allowed me to have cancer, so that I could be a bigger vehicle that just as in, you know, the atmosphere is an Olympian, I get the stage, but the atmosphere is stage 3 breast cancer, I get to empower so many more.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because of that.
Many more people can relate to third
Right,
than
exactly.
they can be Olympian. Right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Opens doors.
Thank you. That's
What a
incredible.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it feels like, you know, have you written that book yet?
Uh-huh.
I'm working on a parenting book, actually. I got 4 chapters done. I'm working on my 5th.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I've written 3 books. So
Wow,
you
that's
can write a
awesome.
book.
I'm trying to get where you're at. I'm working on getting there.
I have
Right.
lots of titles, no books.
Lots of
titles.
Yeah. The same question that Lisa asked Barb, Derek, what's the challenge you've had this year, and how have you overcome that? And when we say this year, we're talking 2023 as well, not just these 2 months.
I was thinking, reflecting as you were sharing your account. So 2023 was, by all accounts, one of the hardest years of my life personally. I had a number of challenges. I won't go into all the details of everything, but there were a number of things, personally, professionally, spiritually, and so on. So I'm also somebody, I'm a believer, and I had committed last year. I had a friend say to me, well, how often do you even go to church? I said, well, okay. And I was convicted in that sense where I hadn't been going, so I kind of committed. My wife and I were going to be back every Sunday, and other than I think 2 times we were traveling or illness or something, we were there every Sunday. And we noticed that change. At the same time, the attacks, the onslaught, the fiery trials that came. What's great is we're promised not to be left there, but to come through that.
Yes.
And 2024 started off amazing. I would say on a kind of the professional front, the biggest thing that I've observed coming from the nonprofit world is a number of nonprofits were large ones that are really struggling for dollars. No money, no mission. Money's oxygen to what we do. I mean, vehicles don't run on hugs and kisses. People don't get served with a variety of needs through pats on the backs and attaboys. It takes dollars to make it happen. And nonprofit is a tax status, not a business plan. So it's really important that when it comes down to it, that we have the dollars to fuel all that we do. And whether it's our organization at Special Kids, Special Families, or a number of other great nonprofits in our community that help to be that kind of social safety net for everybody as we fall in hard times. Everything from really cradle to grave type of stuff, whether it's hospice issues, whether that's as a senior you need help, whether that's as kids you need daycare, mental health issues, food, I mean all the types of things. And with the economy at best uncertain, I would say that there's a number of things that are concerning. Giving is down. You look at the surveys, Giving USA, that type of thing. Giving is down. Dollars aren't there. People aren't as generous. They're not able to give as much. They may want to, but they're not able to. So as inflation hits households, it hits nonprofits, which means those that are resource deprived and limited, they're having even more difficulties being able to have their needs met because they're looking to social service agencies, healthcare, human service agencies to meet those needs. And if those dollars don't flow, then it's hard to provide for them. So that's been the biggest challenge professionally. I would probably couple that with finding great people and retaining great people, because there is competition in the marketplace, always drawing from people to say, come over here for $5, $10, $20,000 more than what the nonprofit world can pay. And when you think about the inflation and bottom line, people are kind of making those dollar and cents decisions. So it's a 1-2 punch. The great thing is we have an awesome community that comes together, rallies together to help those. So
yeah, indeed. Yeah, I serve on 4 boards myself, so really into the nonprofit arena and knowing how those social services are helping people and the challenges on the other side of being able to stay um, financially.
Solid,
Yeah,
Well,
right.
and just
Yeah.
Friday, you and I were talking about, just the economy and how it's really impacted the businesses just
Mhm.
across the board, even with your clients, right? I mean, it's-
Absolutely,
it's a thing.
absolutely.
Mhm.
You watch the real estate industry and you'll see it trickles, right? The industry and real estate is hit and things begin to falter there. All business, particularly entrepreneurs and people that are doing business themselves, are impacted. And a lot of people impacted in 2023, including my business and having people no discretionary income, no one can write you a check, right? So, and all those things. And you, Cody, you and I, similar businesses, I think different emphasis and so much space for so many people. You and I as well. Well, you too, Coach. So all of us, coaching
Yeah.
to some degree or not. As you think big picture about where you've been, where you are right now, this show is about encouragement and hope and infusing that into community. What would you say to this audience about encouragement and hope?
Yeah, I mean, I would go all the way back to your story's not final. I think that would be for 2021, beginning of 2022, I flamed out of Mortgage Hard. It was not a good experience at all. And then it was interesting because with 2022 and 2023, things in staffing they're going to be steady. And people are always in new jobs. I was in medical and manufacturing. But I think one of the things that I have seen is that I have been talking with Master Kunkel for the last 2 years about this. She's kind of been sort of like a pseudo business mentor on this side for me as well, in terms of keeping my last company was a little crazy because there was a bunch of ethical issues, including my previous boss is now in prison. So it was.
There's a story.
Yeah. So
I don't know what we want to write down.
we're not going to write that story. But what was interesting is talking to Master Kunkel so many different times was what she kept telling me to do was just stick with your values, stick with continuing to be in this area. And I think that that's kind of what was hard too is that when I was in mortgage and all these other industries, so many things were remote.
Mhm.
And we were also remote. Most of my headquarters was out of Michigan. My last one was out of Ohio. And for me, I think one of the biggest things that I have seen this year is the power of coming together and surrounding yourself with your community again and becoming being part of that. Like you said, this room is my value. This room is the people that help to guide me and we get to be a part of each other's businesses.
Yes. Yeah. So that was your encouragement and hopeful piece to this community, right? If you sum that up and bring it all together, is that we need to do this together.
We do. And I think that it's about being patient through hard times, through kind of how Derek was talking about being in alignment with your core values.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what your non-negotiables are. And as long as you can, sometimes those get violated, then you have to make a decision, but I do feel like that, like you said, it has been so much more fun being a part of the local community after all this.
Indeed. Yeah. One of the fruits of the spirit is patience, and Americans don't like that fruit.
No.
Right. They do not like that
The
fruit at
American
all.
way.
All right. Yeah. So we have to do this quickly, but Craig, man, it's great meeting you today. And,
My pleasure.
Yeah, I hope they have coffee with you later. I'm so intrigued by the story, and there's so much more to it that I want to hear from your story. So how would you encourage people today? What would be a quick word from you?
I would say that you are not your biggest mistake. You're not your biggest failure. And I coach people, and it's remarkable how, especially men, they remember things they're living 20 years ago. because they had their biggest mistake 20 years ago, their biggest failure, biggest embarrassment, and they're still operating in that mode, and they haven't let it go. And I would say that regardless of what your failure, everybody fails. We're all human, right?
Yes.
So whatever your greatest failure is, let it go, because it doesn't define you unless you allow it to.
That's such a
Very
good word, isn't it? I certainly can relate to what you said there, my friend. I held on for a very, very long time. Barb, same to you. Look in our camera and tell those people.
I was just gonna
something.
say, do I look at you or can I look at
Yeah,
them?
look at them.
Yeah, look
Yeah,
at them.
look
All right.
at this guy.
What I'm gonna do is, for me, the biggest encouragement I can tell people is, we have 4 Ds of a champion. It's desire, discipline, dedication, determination. But the one I'm gonna focus on is that determination. And that is this: it's not if, it's when challenges happen in our life. And it's what we do with those challenges that make a difference. And so every single one of us are gonna have challenges. I don't care, when I go talk to schools, I talk to the kids and they still all have challenges, whether they didn't get that grade or whether they got hurt on the playground or whatever it is, or whether it's in business and we have a challenge like you had in yours. It's not if, it's when we have those challenges. And remember, it's what you do with those challenges that are gonna make a difference in your life.
Indeed.
So good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. No victimization. That's
right.
a centerpiece of Barb's message.
Don't be a
That's
victim,
right.
be a victor.
There we go, baby. Yeah. Derek.
Man, I wish I could have thought about this ahead of time, this question. I love quotes, and so 2 are bouncing in my head. So I'm going to get both my quotes if I can.
Okay.
One I had to kind of write down because I always mess it up a little bit. But Winston Churchill said that we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give.
Amen.
And I think when you think about philanthropy, you think about giving back, I think that that's huge. And I would encourage folks to think about how they can, of their time, talent, or treasure, support those in our community. There's been a number of things over the last couple days that had the potential to fracture a community, but can also bring a community together. So the other quote that I love so much, I'm going to kind of modify it a little bit. It comes from Lawrence of Arabia. He said that all people dream, but not equally. Those that dream in the dusty recesses of their minds awake to find that all was folly, but the dreamers of the day are dangerous people, for they may live out and act on their dreams. And so I think it's really important that we act. A lot of people talk about what they'll do. A lot of people will talk about what they've done and things, but I think it's better to say well done is better than well said. So do, act, dream.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's excellent.
Well done.
Yeah. We just Lisa's gonna close us out here, but we'd be remiss unless we told you guys how much we appreciate your coming on in studio today, being a part of this. Incredible wisdom flowed from each of you today, and thank you. And what do you have to say?
All right. So in closing, again, if you want to reach more people with your business, we reach up to 45,000 a week and growing. So visit our website at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor or request an on-site visit and get your business name out there to our growing audience. And also we are doing spotlight visits to local businesses. You got to have us over.
Yeah.
So it is free. You just have to feed us lunch, but we spotlight you, and we have quite a few followers ourselves. So we'd love to help y'all's business. So
Is there any way we can talk about going deeper in? Because I know like Craig had prepared a place that if people want to go deeper, that like craigdomann.com/pro-mindset.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He just said it. craigdomann.com/pro-mindset. That's
Indeed.
where you find me.
How do you find you?
Mine is family-taekwondo.com. Just look up life and leadership skills for kids.
Awesome.
sksfcolorado.org.
And then apexgroupcolorado.com/magic.
That's
Ooh,
slash.
I
man.
like
Ah, Magic man here.
And thanks for reminding us of that, because we typically always have that
Yes, we do.
as part
Actually.
of our
Yes.
outro. But there we go. First hour to Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is a wrap. We'll be back in just a little while with show number 2. And we are so glad to be with you today on Motivation Monday. Stay with us.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why should
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales?
On the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa on Motivation Monday. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, if I was in bed, I'd be you.
I survived Brooklyn's sleepover with 10 14-year-olds. So here I am.
Let's pray for
Yeah.
her father.
Yes. my husband John, kudos to him right now. He's wrangling all of them while I am here having fun.
So he's
John,
the
you
only
are
one.
a saint.
He is the same.
John,
Yeah.
you are the man.
Yeah, he is.
But we knew that already because being married to this woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a reward in and of itself.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so we're glad you're back for hour number 2. We have some amazing humans with us in hour 2 today, and part of a group that we're going to tell you about, Advanced Elite Network, AEN. Introduce them.
Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, Tim Richardson, thank you for signing up to be our panel host. When I saw you
He
on
didn't
there, I
even
was like,
know
oh, I got so excited. No, he did. He actually did
You
the
didn't know?
spreadsheet. He got on. Oh, yeah. I approved him on the back end, got the ball rolling. Yes, the dates changed.
But anyway, yes.
But thank you, Tim. So together with his beautiful bride, Brownie Richardson, they own Please Don't Do It Yourself LLC, which was formed to support their nonprofit Hope Advance. So welcome.
Thank you.
And to my left here, Miss April Saladay,
Yes, you said that right.
with 17 years of experience under her belt.
She started when she was 8.
Yep.
All right. Child prodigy. Here.
Yeah, child prodigy. So she's not just a title sales rep at Empire Title. She's also your partner in navigating the intricate landscape of real estate. So welcome, Miss April.
Thank you.
And to my right, the infamous
Ooh.
Ron Young is here.
Infamous.
This flesh and blood here. I'm so excited.
The legend.
Yes, the legend. He is the Senior Vice President and Loan Officer with Free Enterprise Funding, 20 plus years as a mortgage lender and founder of Advanced Elite Network.
Yes,
Welcome, Ron. You're looking fabulous. Yes.
You're just
Are you
seeing the
feeling as
sparkle
good
in
as
your
you
eye
look?
from yourself, bro.
Go ahead and receive it, brother.
Yes.
Receive that love.
Yeah. And to my left, you all have heard us every single week gush about our Miss Karen Butcher. Here she is.
Yay!
Welcome, Karen. She is an insurance broker with 24 years experience. Customer service is her #1 priority, and being available when her clients need her. She loves helping people.
And she's my agent.
She's mine too.
Yeah.
Yours too. I guess I better get on that shit.
Would you like to have her agent too?
Yes.
Oh man, we've got a jingle started
Yes.
all up in here now, right?
Sing it.
Sing it. Sing it. Sing it to
I
me.
might
baby.
get you guys canceled if I do one more bar, so I'll stay where I was at.
Okay.
Stay in my lane.
Yeah. That wasn't bad though.
Yeah.
All right, give some props on that, right? Yeah, Tim says you
Yes.
was our panel host today.
Yeah.
Why don't you give people a little bit of background? Tell people, now, who is this Tim Richardson?
Well, before I start that, let me talk to why I'm here with these people. Can I do that real quick? And then it's going to go right to me. Because the reason we're part of this group and we're highlighting Advanced Elite today is because we're a bunch of people that are not trying to get something from you, get something to you. Which leads to who I am, and Brownie. Left Brownie at home. She did a home show with me the last 3 days. She's exhausted.
She may not be out the rest of the week.
But and the dog was upset she was gone. So long story short, I'm a guy who, when I was a teenager, I was suicidal. No particular reason other than the fact that, I was trying to figure everything out, couldn't figure nothing out. And I heard a voice one day. How's this way to start a program? You hearing voices? And depressed, suicidal, and I heard a voice, and it said, Tim, you're to live. If for no other reason but to help other people. Well, here I am, buku years later. By the way, that was 1967, so you do the math, okay? And to a set of circumstances that led to my meeting Brownie, she and I found it, because I'm going to skip all that in the middle there, what really is the crux of the matter of helping other people, Hope Advanced. So we work with the broken, busted, and
and
disgusted.
disgusted.
You guys know that byline. But the fact is, people do go off the rails in life. We have, some of us have, gone off seriously. When I say off the rails, when you're off the rails, you're laying on the side of the couch. But when you, who, if you might be one of those people, try to get back on track again, as best you know how, 50% of the time, you're gonna fail. The other 50% of the time, that's fine. So it's great that we have 50%,
Yes.
but those that don't get back, we have to be part of the solution that exists where they can come to us, we start a conversation basically with a blank sheet of paper and a pencil and determine how we can find ways to help them move forward, okay? Sounds oversimplistic, but it really is that simple. People need guidance, they need a new relationship, which could lead to friendships, etc. We've been doing that for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, what we wanted to do when we first started was develop for-profit businesses to help support that. Nonprofits also mean, please, help me, do this. And or it's all out of your pocket. Well, anyway, we know that all out of your pocket part of it, and in the meantime, we started this, please don't do it yourself, which cute little terminology, by the way, it's trademarked, so do not try to steal it. I'll take you to court. Anyway, but we do a variety of things to help consumers, as we do with Hope Advance, is help people live their best life. But we, not going into the major details, we're a service company doing handyman, custom landscaping, personal care, and cleaning. We started that 2 years ago, February 1st, 2022. As of right now, we have 18 employees and we've closed over 1,700 jobs.
Right on.
And
Yeah.
we're going. So anyway, but it's to help support what we do, and it
Yeah.
turns up supporting. It just becomes this big circle of doing stuff, getting something to people, not trying to get something from them.
Yeah. I mean, I've had the privilege, or I hope you consider it a privilege, of being there from the beginning when this was just a seed thought about Hope Advance and please don't do it yourself. And this has really been an incredible business plan and execution of that plan that has creates a lot of space for a lot of people. So thank you, Tim and Brownie and absentee. Thank you as well. Yeah, talking about John being married to you, I pray for Brownie every day.
And your prayers work.
Yeah, fabulous, Ron. I'm going to stay on that side of the table. My word, brother, you're shining a light. Adversity creates opportunity. It creates movement. It creates possibilities. Tell them how that's been for you.
Man, what an incredible journey this last year just for that piece of it, right? For those of you that don't know, I had a kidney transplant in March of 2023. And I stand here by the grace of God, here healthy, feeling amazing, and being in a space to be able to be a contribution to our community and to society. So it's an amazing thing to be a part of right now.
Indeed. We're so glad. As you know, I love you. And so there's been tears shed, my heart, a lot of time, Michelle and I having to pull ourselves together for you to believe, right, in the journey that you've been on. So what are you doing now that you're sitting here and back engaged in community?
Man, first of all, taking care of myself, like, and you're pointing for you youngins out there.
Listen up, Q.
When they have the 50-foot bong and all that sort of stuff, you just leave that stuff alone. I'm telling you. Kidneys and hearts and all that sort of stuff, it's for real, right? The main thing is eating healthier, living around healthier people, not really having the dramas that, like when you have adversity in your life, as you mentioned, you start to prioritize the types of circumstances that you really want to be involved in.
Yes.
Right? So if people are bringing me drama, I'm sidestepping in that in favor of these type of opportunities. That's one thing for sure. Additional to that is exercise and eating properly, going to doctor visits regularly, which again, for you kids out there, when your mom and dad are telling you to go to the hospital, definitely go do that stuff. You want to go get the checkup. I didn't go to the hospital for like 20 some odd years. Wow. Right? And so then you find out all kinds of things are broken and you're like, well, how much is it going to cost to fix it, right?
Yeah.
So anywho.
About 4 arms and 3 legs. And a kidney.
And a kidney.
Right, and a kidney. Right. Don't forget about me over here. But the main thing is that just living life in accordance with God's law, and we'll get into that a little bit more because with Advanced Elite Network, that's what we're up to. So
yeah, absolutely. Ryan, he didn't throw this out. I don't think he felt like he needed to, but he's a mortgage lender with Free Enterprise Funding, which is a relatively new company.
yes.
As a matter of fact, the young man that founded it was a client of mine at one point as well. So yeah, so awesome. And I hear you guys like kicking some buttocks there as well.
We've the right mix of youth and wisdom and combined together to create a very synergistic way of doing business.
Yeah.
One of the things that I don't believe in selling debt. I sell opportunity. I give people the opportunity to leverage themselves to where they want to be, teach them how to pay their mortgages off faster so they're not carrying debt for long periods of time, teaching them how to buy investment properties, second homes, creating wealth through buying properties for their kids. And if you want to get my webinar, no, I'm just kidding.
No, you really aren't kidding.
Right.
I know you.
But at the end of the day, our main purpose is to make sure people get their lives structured so they can have the American dream and not turn it into a nightmare.
Indeed.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, Miss April, tell us
Yes.
a little bit about you. Are you from Colorado Springs? What are you about?
Oh, this is a loaded question
Yes.
because I'm in a state where people don't really like where I'm from.
My wife's
So I'm
from
a
there.
double whammy. So I was born in Texas and raised in California.
Oh my.
I married a 5th generation. I got here as quick as I could.
There's some people that flipped you out right outside the building right there. I can see through that wall.
I'm sure.
Where at in California?
So Southern California, Orange County, Long Beach, Anaheim is where I grew up.
We'll see.
The OC, yes.
Yeah.
I'm from the Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, my wife from Slow.
Slow. Yeah.
San Luis
San Luis
Obispo.
Obispo.
Yeah.
My daughter was
Okay,
born there in
yeah.
Slow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's slow.
The
Oh.
most-
That's a
She
rough
is
dog.
not. Say that out loud.
She is
Indeed, she'll
not.
tell you that, though. Yeah, I can say that out
Well, it's
loud.
recorded now, so
She never looks at my show. I can
Love
say
you,
anything.
Michelle.
That's right, baby.
that was good. Save. All the love, all the love.
Yeah, tell us what you're up to in the city, young lady.
I don't think I'm up to too much. I feel like you guys are giving me more credit than I deserve.
What?
What?
Girl, you know what? When I was out networking, someone said, "Have you met April Saladin?"
Well, I network a lot. I haven't been
You
networking
just don't
as
want
much.
to own any kudos, do you?
Wow, you haven't hung
Yeah.
out for enough.
I know. That's why she won't hang out with me.
Yeah.
Because she know I'm going to flip that mindset. She's
Oh.
going to start receiving.
So you want me to
Yeah.
do two?
Yes. Own it, girl. Own your power.
I don't want you toot-tooting, but when someone else is toot-tooting, we might as well own that.
Own it.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
I do a bit of networking, but I like people. So that's honestly, I think probably one of my biggest struggles is that I'm not networking as much as I used to.
Mhm.
And I don't know what did that. So
Would
it's-
2020
it works-
have anything to do with
Oh.
it?
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of people who were Uber networkers before COVID, after COVID, was like, no, that was actually kind of comfy
Yeah,
in my
that's
home.
not chilling.
I don't need a network.
I don't know. My
Right.
husband worked from home, so I don't know if it was the comfy at home thing.
Oh.
Oh,
sorry.
I mean,
I didn't mean to talk
again, I love my husband, you guys.
As long as you don't have to be with him 24/7.
Well,
right.
I'm digging it.
Yeah. And we know that because we've talked about working together because, you know, he's the one that got me into this industry many moons ago, and so I kind of blame him. But He tends to say that I'm the reason that he's doing so well. So
Is that how you guys met? Was through your
no,
industry, or how did you guys
we
meet?
met in high school.
Oh, your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, we met at Rampart High School.
You liked him, did you?
I
Rampart.
did.
And you still like him?
I do.
Obviously, you guys.
I do. 24 years.
It's not obvious. The camera didn't catch that. I was like, all right, bottle that up. You know what I'm saying? 24 years. Hey, I'm talking about.
So yeah.
Yeah. She started working at 11, got married.
Got married at 12. That's right. That's right. Sure.
It's legal in Texas.
It was no.
Gotta love the South for something.
Hey.
Yeah.
I got out as quickly as I could.
You're probably pretty confused. Texas and California. Oh my God.
Right?
You all right?
I'm good.
She's balanced now.
I'm
She's
balanced.
in Colorado.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm balanced.
Okay.
So yeah.
Karen.
How do I follow that?
I know.
You're Karen Butcher. You can follow it any way
Exactly.
you want.
That's right.
Let's
Okay,
go.
let's go.
Yes.
That's right. You are Karen Butcher. Yeah.
am.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Karen.
Well, I've been married for almost 21 years. We've got 14 grandkids, and
She beats me.
What happened to the kids? I mean, how'd you go from?
no,
You
we-
skipped
Yeah,
that.
skip all that.
That's all the piece.
we have 4 kids. Okay, 4 kids.
Grandkid.com, order one.
14 grand.
When you're a grandparent, kids are
Kids.
infidel.
The grandparents part is way better.
Way better.
Way. So
It's not even
yeah,
close.
it's exactly.
Good to know.
No, a lot.
The best is yet to
Still
come.
pretty expensive though.
Yeah. Next month, my 13th. So,
Yay.
and I'll never catch you because that's my
You
weekend.
will.
No.
No.
Stopping
Okay.
at 13.
Okay.
You have a say in that?
Yeah,
I know.
I'm
I'm
just
asking
asking
for a friend.
I don't know. I don't know if we're done.
Yes,
Just
I
asking for a
do.
friend.
I like to hope we are, but I don't know.
You don't know if you're done
I
or
don't
not.
know if we're done.
Yeah.
So I know we're done with the 4 kids, but
I was going to say
grandkids,
that. I think you
that's-
have
we're
control
done.
over
Yeah.
that.
Right,
Kids,
right.
not
Right,
so much.
yes.
Well,
So
my daughter that's having a baby, her husband had his vasectomy reversed
Oh,
in
wow.
order to have the kids. So he's
Okay.
going to have it redone after this. So.
okay.
And you're the
Right.
one that procreated having had the vasectomy.
Yeah, I had 2 vasectomies as well. Both my daughters were born after the first one.
There you
Isn't
go.
that
Yeah.
something?
Someone else is in control of that.
Fun
That's
fact.
right. Someone else in
Someone
control.
else was in full
Exactly.
control of that.
Right.
I'm worried about that.
You want to make God laugh? Tell him
What is happening?
Okay.
Good thing you're listening.
Right. I had
Alright.
both of my
Right.
daughters after the first vasectomy is what I heard. That's a Dateline special, everybody.
Yeah.
Or Dr.
98.6% of them work.
Yes.
I was in that 1.4% that doesn't work.
He's
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
You
And I
are
had my
special.
first vasectomy done by an Air Force doctor.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
wow.
that
That
explains
explains
it.
it.
Yeah.
He was probably going, this stupid idiot.
Because he was like early 20s.
I was 26.
Right? Oh, 26
wow.
when you did
Yeah.
that, which is still so young.
Wow, that
Yeah, it
is-
was my pre-Christian days, and I wanted to live a.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
All right, let us move on.
All the gentlemen said yes.
Right.
There you
Enough
have it.
said.
At the same time, I was like,
Yes.
They all got it.
yeah.
All right.
Bro code. Okay. Anyway, I have a question for you, Tim.
Just me.
Over the past 6 months, what's been the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome, and how have you done it?
Well, that's a good question. Keeping focus on the most important things, and at the same time, we've got a vision for part of what we're doing with Hope Advanced that's been sitting on the shelf, and it's no longer on the shelf because I finally said, well, we've got to do something. So I just started doing it. Now, what I'm saying is building something within our location that we have. And I think the biggest struggle is when you're a business owner and then you're responsible or make yourself responsible with dealing with a lot of people is you got to decide if you're going to get up and do it every day. Because when it all crowds in on you and the buck starts and stops with you in many cases, what are you going to do? So I've had a lot of challenges, but we just go to bed early, get up early, and go do it again. And by the grace of God, I mean, period, end the story. And I'm still standing. And it's not because I'm doing anything great, it's just, I'm just doing, it's that constant drip. I'm a drip. I just keep dripping. I'm not going to stop.
You say that a lot. I want to challenge that just a little bit, Tim. Whenever you go, you say it's not because I'm doing anything great. It is because you're doing something great.
Well, granted, and I don't want to over humble it either. Don't think more highly of yourself than you ought to, which does not mean don't think highly of yourself. I believe there's a lot of people that have been challenged with the same task that I've been, and they just chose not to do it because it's not easy to do.
It's not easy.
And it's not fun to do all the time. But if you have a moment of success, okay, so let's say with people's lives, what's that worth? How much? Difficult to talk about, but when you've seen your own pain, and then you've seen the pain of others, and you've seen the failure in it, you go, okay. I was counseling with a guy a couple of weeks ago, just a conversation over less than half an hour. And if I told you the guy's deal, you'd say, well, how come he hasn't shot himself yet? Okay. I mean, because that's the kind of messed up life he's got. But I just kept encouraging him. And by not telling him any stories, I said, you did that. You did that. They did that to you. So what are you going to do now? And I used my Safeway example, because there's a Safeway that's down the street from us. I said, let's take all your stuff, your bad stuff, your stupid stuff, all that stuff, what they did to you, blah, blah, blah. Let's go down there, load up the grocery bill, get to the cashier, and she says it's whatever. Well, I want to pay for it with this and this and this, my past and all that stuff. And she says, sorry about your luck, I still need the money. My point being is, there's the value in your past. None, zero, zip. What are you going to do now? And sometimes I get to stand back and watch that take place. Really. So, doing good should make you feel good.
Yeah.
Okay? Some people say, you're doing that just so you'll feel good. Yep. Get her done. Yeah.
It's a byproduct, but who doesn't want to feel good?
Yeah. I mean, I know your story.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder, and then you've developed so many more stories in your life for other people. So what do you do with that when you encourage somebody? I'm telling you, if you're not an encourager, you won't be very encouraged. If you are one, you'll be well encouraged. Okay. Did that answer that?
Yes, you did.
So I'm going to keep being a drip, a good one.
Yes.
It is. It's creating a flood of enthusiasm and opportunity for people, the more drips that are happening, right? So, which is incredible. Ron,
Sir.
Advanced Elite Network. When, why, and how?
Fantastic question. I was a serial networker. And in being a serial networker, I would go out to these networking events, and it would be the wrong combination of individuals together to where it was like not equally yoked, not talking about things that were pushing or moving the needle forward or backward or anywhere in between, just kind of stagnant, people just hanging out and just doing stuff that had no fruit. And the labor was too intensive to keep doing that. So I pulled this man to the side and I said, I don't want to do this anymore, like we've been doing it. And came up with this idea that we were going to create a group that was called Advanced Elite Group at that time. And we started January 10th of 2022. And over that 2-year period of time, what my calling became was that this needed to be a more spiritually involved group to where we now have the conversation about God.
What
inside of
flipped
our
that? Because that's not where it was initially.
No, it was
so
not.
What changed it to that?
I had time away from the group, and I wanted to see what value we were bringing to the ultimate community. And one of the things that's missing inside a community nowadays is no one's talking about their faith. Nobody's talking about their beliefs. Everybody's about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being about this is okay. That's not a bad thing necessarily in the world, but in our spiritual lives, that's not what moves us to the next level. And so in creating discipleship and understanding the wares of creating relationships to where we start talking about God. I remember when I was in high school, which when I say that I graduated in 1990, which
Let's go.
let's
Best
go,
year
right?
ever.
Right?
Sorry,
68.
Yeah!
All right.
All right.
I graduated late.
Yeah, right.
So I remember in school they started taking God out of conversation. You couldn't pray, you couldn't talk about God or anything like that. So pseudo August of last year, we started having the conversation about taking the group, the networking concept, and putting it with the conversation of God. And it's been very valuable. We're having our first event, our first community event coming up here March 16th, which everybody's invited. Well, to a capacity of 150. So first 150 come on in, and after that, you got to like stand outside.
We'll also give them the location and time now.
We've already called the fire marshal. He'll be there to...
Where at?
This is going to be at 3135 West Colorado Avenue, at the Hope Advance Center. We're in the corner, the catacorn, right in the corner. We'll have balloons and everything out there for everybody to come. There will be refreshments. We're going to be talking a little bit about what we're looking to do. The biggest reason why we started this group, however, is to bring, so I'm a consumer. You're a consumer. You're a consumer. Everybody here in this room is a consumer, and if you're watching online, you're a consumer. And one of the things that happens, and I witnessed it in my own personal life, is ethics. People that don't have good ethics bring scarcity, resignation, and cynicism in the world out to people, because I trust you, I feel you're going to do right by me. Then when you don't do that, then I punish you, even though you're trying to help me. Now you could be a bad guy, I'm not sure. You could be a bad guy, I'm not sure. And you run into this place of being skeptical. And so one of the reasons why I identified in August of last year is that when you're a Christian-based person, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have 100% ethics, but it says that you have a value system that's leading you in that direction.
Yes.
So in having the right people in congregation with each other, you become a better referrer, you become a better referral partner, and it's important to be able to have relationships with people that you know that if I refer Karen Butcher, I know what her stance is in life. So it makes it better and easier to recommend her. April Saladay, I won't use anybody else if I'm doing a transaction where I have control of when it comes to title. Right. This guy, I've used him personally, I've referred him out to different people, etc., because I know that I don't want to do it myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly.
These three, we've been to dinner so many times. You build relationships that matter. And so the thing that I'm looking to do inside of our community is creating conversations and relationships that are relevant. They create a tighter bond as opposed to the negative bond that's been created by just leaving it to chance.
Yes. You know, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and then we'll move over to you guys. But I think that it's necessary, Ron, because what related your kidney failure, and that's what you went through with your emphasis on creating a space that we're talking about God more. Yeah. Because I want our community, remember, we're trying to infuse hope and encouragement in the community through this show. People are going through challenges, right? And a lot of them, when they go through challenges, they want to deep six the spiritual part of life and go blame God and et cetera. Why didn't he, et cetera. You went the opposite direction. Why?
Because so the story, October 5th of 2022, I found out I had stage 5 kidney failure. So when you get news like that, your first thought is I gotta go to church, right? I gotta go to church. I gotta go to church. There ain't no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. I gotta go to church. So I went to church, and I remember sitting in the pew, and I'm like, all right, God, fix me. And I was entitled about it and all of the things that come associated with that. And so Pastor Mark Coward, his when people are preaching right at you and you know you're the one in the room that it's targeted at, it's right on point, right? And so I'm sitting there, and Pastor Mark says, today we're going to talk about clearing our altars. And I didn't even know what that meant at the time, right? He said, but for a lot of you that are confused about that, and I'm like, all right, you talking my language? All right, come on with it. What you got? And he's like, how many of you have something that comes up and you run to God and you ask him to fix you right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening? And you're not just talking, did you just read my mind? Like, what's going on, right? And so when I'm sitting there in that space, I'm like, what kind of human am I if I'm asking God to serve me? Woo! And in that space, it transformed my life in that moment. Sitting there in that second, like 15 seconds after he had mentioned that, and I surrendered my life at that moment that I want to learn what I'm hearing in this room because I know that it is for me. And when I got that discernment in my life that this is for me, I want everybody to have it. Because I was the wayward son of all wayward sons. No matter what. Like I would go to church, Christmas and Easter, then I missed this Christmas, missed this Easter, and next thing you know, it's been a few years, all this sort of stuff. And then, are you a Christian? Oh, yeah, I'm a Christian. Give me a Bible verse. John 3:16. I got, you know what I'm saying? I got that one down, right? So then people would be like, okay, well, you're not living your, okay, you know, your church, and then our woke generation, what happens is, and this is the hope that I want to infuse in everybody, is the most important thing is that in your walk, whatever that looks like, you have to be in your truth. Because a lot of people, they make up rhetoric to make everything that's happening in their life, and that's how they stray away from God, is because they have this conversation about, I know better than you do. I have a relationship with God. I don't have to go to church. I don't even have to think about God, and everything happens the way that it does, and blah, 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 right? And so I'm not going to force anybody to be Christian or Catholic or Buddhist or whatever it is that you're up to. Whatever you choose to, what you want to do that. But when you come into my world, I'm going to talk to you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I'm not afraid of that.
Amen. Amen. You know, people often say, God said it, so that settles it. I believe it, and that settles it, right? The truth is, God says it, whether you believe it or not. It still
that's what
settles
settles
it. Right? So, and I think that was a flip for you, because I knew you on both sides of that equation, right? And loved you on both sides of that equation.
Without judgment.
Absolutely. Yeah, but seeing, yes. Now, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
Praise God. Yeah. Why do you want to be a part of this stuff? This advanced elite network.
Goodness. I love Jesus, and I have my whole life, and I have been incredibly blessed to be able to serve others and have a job where I can pray with others and I can help others and do things for others. Insurance is a byproduct of that. So I just am amazed every day how blessed I am to be able to be on the phone with people who are struggling and need someone to pray with them right now. And I have that opportunity. And
you and your husband both.
Yes.
You're incredible ministers. I mean, just remembering when Frank was hospitalized. And you know, you and I are there with him as well, and we were able to do that. I agree. This resonates with me. It's huge. It's powerful.
God is you know, like you said.
Well, you were there at AEN before Ron flipped.
I was.
Yes.
I was with you. I got to love him before and after.
Right?
What a huge
Wasn't that a trip?
trip.
Yeah.
It was such a, wasn't it?
Well, I watched it. I
You
knew him
watched
2
it,
years
David.
before we had this conversation.
Right.
We
Yeah.
started it.
And
He was a nodder then.
yeah.
Because am I preaching? Yeah. And he's, oh yeah, okay, and now I'm going, man, will you shut
Now
up.
we're
so we
nodding
can
to
hear
him.
I mean, I'm going Pastor Ron. over here.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It is
is.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And so to be part of that and part of this group that just puts that first, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. You know, my wife doesn't trust very much, and she loves Karen, and she
Yeah.
trusts her.
Right.
She has a
She's
very
precious.
difficult time trusting women. Very, very difficult
She trusts me
time.
too.
Does she?
Oh, yes, she
I didn't know
does.
that.
I would not be here if she did not trust
Right.
me. If there is that. There's totally that.
Yes.
And John trusts you, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. John and our
Exactly.
homies, that's right. Yeah.
She is.
You're
She's
right. That is true. Yeah. You wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
if you
Nope.
didn't trust her.
That's right.
Yeah. So April, you're a part of this. I admire you from a distance. Sometimes I get to see you weekly, and the person that you are, you have such a servant heart, just like this young lady beside you. Why are you supporting AEN?
So Ron, actually, I met him in doing my daily job, and he asked me to come and check it out. I had no clue what I was getting into. Didn't really get any details, just an opportunity to network. And when I
Setting you up
came,
for Amway.
and I really kind of wondered. One of the first guys. And I just got this opportunity to come in. When I went into the room and got to sit with a few of you that are in here, it was more, I think the reason why you invited me was probably because I like to give, I like to help, I have a background in the medical field, and I care. And sometimes I probably care too much, but I care. And for instance, I did a event for my sister-in-law who has aplastic anemia. She was not expected to live 10 years, needed to get a bone marrow transplant. And I did a full event to raise money, get blood, get people on the registry, and do all these things. That's the kind of thing that I would do with the family history of all the things on my side and my husband's side. So when I went into that group, I kind of saw that opportunity. It wasn't just a networking opportunity where we all get to pass cards you have to stack on your desk that you do nothing with, and it was more than that, and that's kind of what kind of hooked me into sticking around.
Yeah, sometimes the iteration of this group comes, in all transparency, I'm a part of the group as well. As we were evolving, I sat back several times wondering if I were going to continue, or if it was going to be, is it going to evolve into anything, or because we were just trying to figure out really what God was doing, right? But I didn't discern that a lot of the times. I was doing it from a totally human point of view and going, is this an hour and a half of my day that I need to be doing or not?
No,
right?
I get it.
Yeah. What keeps you?
I was going to say what I had a thought now it went out.
I hate it when that happens. Catch it.
Most things, and I know where the thought is now, most things, here, first of all, I'm going to write a book, and they'll sell 1 trillion copies. You know what the title of the book is? What's that? How to Get Started, Getting Started. And relate that to what we did. We got started
This
anyway.
dude right here has like how to get started getting started.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We got started, but and you could tell we were still trying to figure out exactly how
Yeah,
to work.
right.
It wasn't trying to come out with a program or a particular methodology, as it turned out, because we kept doing it as best we knew how. It became what it is now, and then what it's becoming is the deal. But we started anyway.
Yep.
So what's the famous statement that, you know, all the greatest place for all the ideas in the world is in the graveyard.
Yeah.
You know, or let's be John Average, man, and ask nothing of life, and life will pay its price.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's what we're doing. Is this easy to do? Is it easy to say, should I spend an hour and a half doing this?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I didn't get
it's not
squat out of it.
Yeah.
Except I brought my KFC and ate it.
Watch it.
Doing that today.
Anyway.
There's gonna be a line in KFC.
Why you want to call me out?
Right.
Subway.
Subway.
I can't eat KFC.
Well, there's a lot of things you can
Yeah,
eat.
that's
So.
That's true. But there's a lot of candy.
Yeah. You go on that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Advanced Elite Network, a new space for, 2 years old now. Gosh, that went back quick.
Yeah,
Me too.
I mean, can you believe it that we've been doing this for 2 years already? Tell people the vision, Ron, of AEN.
Yeah, so the vision of AEN is to create a community of experts in their field to be able to not only raise the bar as far as like the ethics that go on in the community, but to raise awareness about faith and God.
Yes. You know, and it's really, I was challenged initially with that because I was going, the people we have in this room here, remember?
Yes.
So some of the people that we have in this room weren't feeling it, right? And Ron was like, okay, well, they can feel something else, right? So, which was,
So you lost some members.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And that's good. I mean, you know, that's staying true to a value that you say exists here, right? Yeah, and allowing people to walk away when they don't, because it's not going to be helpful for them, it's not going to be helpful for us, or where we're going. Who wants to talk about March 16th?
Well, I can do March 16th. It's going to be, it's called Get Your Green On. Why? Because it's springtime, it's St. Patty's Day, et cetera, et cetera. Green means money, green means growth, green means all those good things. So, green.
Get your green on.
So, what are the hours? When are we going to start that? I forgot.
It's going to be a 3 to 5.
3 to 5 on
March
Saturday
16th.
afternoon, March 16th, and you'll come to the back of the liquor store, 3135.
And don't stop there and bring it in.
Right.
31, you can go there afterwards. That's up to you. 3135 West Colorado. It says Hope Advanced Center. And when you come in, you're going to get greeted by some of our spouses, etc. But when you come in the room, immediately you're going to see kind of a layout like you might see going to, like I did the home show this week. But we're not there standing in front of our tables trying to hook you, okay, which I didn't, and that's why I had such a good response. But anyway, get to know the people, etc. Now, why is that important, okay? Well, I don't know. Why is anything important that you don't know about and you need to know about it or would need to know about it at another time? So how often do you need a title company?
Every time you sell a house.
There you go.
Every
So my
time you
point is,
refinance.
it's not the number, and when you have the number, it's the quality.
Right.
It's not the quantity. So, and then we're gonna have some entertainment, we're gonna actually have some food, we'll have a charcuterie board, et cetera. But what we're really doing is setting the stage for the atmosphere to come, the future of Advanced Elite Network. Things have got to change from where they are already, okay? I'm not putting anything down. You want to talk professional networker. I got an A+ in it, up in the 7 a week, and blah, 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 and et cetera, and then we just had to come down from that. The point is, things that better have substance, and substance is not how much can I get from you, who sits at the table, to help me. Now, obviously, a good attitude anywhere is, what can we help you with? Okay,
Absolutely, yeah.
but that's what this group is about, and we're not even sure exactly how much impact that will have.
Mhm.
But the fact is, it will have impact. And it's not how much we see, touch, or feel personally, one-on-one or one-off, it's where it goes from there. So I was gonna give you just a quick example if I could. Jason Schlotzauer, who hasn't been able to make it a lot lately, but here's how he'll be back in the group here. But he's a roofer / used to be a handyman, okay, all that stuff.
General contractor.
Yeah,
too. He's incredible.
essentially, he doesn't have a GC license, but he touches
He
on
knows
it.
a
My
lot.
point is this, I know Jason well enough, okay, that if anything comes up in his bailiwick, period, I don't even have to think about it. I just refer him.
Yeah.
I don't have to be concerned about how he's gonna respond to a client of his or mine, or what kind of work he's gonna do, or any of that. Why? Because I know who the dude is. And that's really what I think Advanced Elite is. Everybody would like to say that works and that's what we're doing, et cetera, but it doesn't work that well. Right? And so we're gonna continue to work on that. You know, we're gonna keep dripping on the public, both the business public and the public at large, till they get it, that there's something here. We use all kinds of words, but there's a power in who we are because of what we give back to the community. And we're not even sure how all that's gonna look at this point, but we're going in that direction and really gonna become an unstoppable force. Frank is the one that made us think, what really is, I could hear him over there, he wasn't being cynical, but he said, so what really is Advanced Elite? Well, if we're gonna do that, then we really need to be advanced and we really need to be elite. Well, Ron and I were, together individually, chewing on those words, because if we weren't listening, we weren't gonna go anywhere. And things happen the way they do. So, not overstating the fact, I think, I'm gonna go back to what I said in the beginning. Advanced Elite is not trying to get something from you.
Right.
They wanna get something to you.
Mhm.
And that sounds, well, that's a great marketing plan. Yep, sure is.
Yep.
Works
Well,
every
it
time.
matters the language we use.
Yeah.
It matters, right? And if we're gonna use a language, we better be able to live and work out that language in plain sight,
Yes.
right? So.
Is it exclusive? How do
it
people
is
join?
exclusive, yeah.
Details.
Oh,
Please
that.
do share with our listeners.
Right.
So with our groups, for example, if we have a realtor in the group, we're only gonna have one realtor in the group. If we have one loan officer in the group, one title company, one insurance person. Although we have a couple insurance people, but they're in different categories.
Categories, yeah.
Our intention is to grow our group out to 25 people, because that gives us enough reach and frequency to reach the whole entire El Paso County area. And ultimately, if you would like to take a look at us from being a part of the group, send me an email at ron.young@fe-funding.com. I can be reached by phone, which is probably easier than that email. I didn't create it. 719-208-0355. And I'd love to talk to you. And more importantly, I'd love to talk to you. It doesn't mean that we necessarily may do something together, but just to give you some hope, inspiration, etc. I wanted to take this in today and not be, I can be the rah-rah inspiration guy, but I wanted to just feel the group, and it's like amazing to be here with you guys today.
It's amazing to have you. And segue on that, I'm gonna ask all four of you that. You have just a minute or so to look into that camera and tell our audience something hopeful and encouraging today, because that's our whole purpose, is to infuse hope, encouragement in the community. Go.
So,
look at
here. Okay, so here's a big piece for everybody today.
Joshua.
Oh, a lot of people. I was gonna get it somewhere. I was really looking at you, Joshua. So, in 100 years from now, you won't really be very much remembered. Not by your family, not by your lineage. They may have a picture of you from 2024 and it'll be all crusty and demented and all that sort of stuff. So I would think, globally speaking, your hope is in being in the moment, being in now. Because in being in now, that's something that you can take full advantage of and be totally present in and make a difference in this place. And then that'll get you to the next place. So just stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment. Tim, same thing.
Well,
Hope and encouragement.
Yeah, first of all, I'm going to allude to you. I'm going to refer to you, Mr. Encouragement. Okay. You know, if you can't be an encourager, then sit down long enough to figure it out and fake it if you have to. But John Wesley, who's John Wesley? Google him, okay? But here's his famous statement, and I don't think it can be said any better.
It is.
Do all the good you can by all the means you can, and all the ways you can, and all the places you can, and all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can.
Yes.
There we go. There we
Very
go.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to a Wesleyan Bible college, so that was.
You
Yeah, that was. Yeah. So April.
So for me, I'm going to say that today is just about a moment. And so if you believe that today something is so bad, just know that that moment will pass. And tomorrow's a new day. So
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good or the bad.
good,
It'll
bad,
last
the
forever.
ugly, it doesn't matter. It
Doesn't
never
last.
lasts. That's
Yeah,
right.
indeed. Thank you, April. Karen.
For me, to share with you something encouraging is something that was very encouraging to me a few years back when I started to really struggle with some difficult things, was in the book of Esther. There's a verse that says, perhaps you were created for such a time as this. And that has resonated in my life. And just being in the moment and understanding that this will change. And God is good all the time.
All the time.
Yes. Yes. So it's our challenge is to believe it all the time.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And live in that.
And to live in that. You're awesome. You know that, right?
You are too.
Yeah.
right?
What an incredible partner I have here.
Yes.
On the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa every Monday. We've been talking about the Advanced Elite Network. Ron, the founder, partnering with Tim in the leadership of that space. Reach out. Well, March 16th is going to be a fun day. We're going to have a lot of great things.
We do
going
have
on.
we do have some great entertainment, but it's going to have to be a DJ because our live entertainment can't make it. But we're going to have music.
Well, music.
It's going to be a good time. It's not going to be, come on, what
Yeah.
can I get from you? No, come on, enjoy yourself.
We will enjoy ourselves. I'm so looking forward to that. You know, before we wrap today, let's spotlight our sponsors once more. The incredible Crescio, our friend Jaici Aguirre, is passionate about uplifting the Southeast. And when you partner with his company, you will learn how to automate your sales funnel using tools like ChatGPT. Visit them at Crescio.com to learn more. And our incredible, amazing Karen Butcher with Westco Insurance. So awesome having you in house. Thank you for your sponsorship.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that. Tim sponsors as well. I might mention that it's just not at a level that we talked about. So, need a bigger check, brother. I'm saying, right?
Tim's the one that said, please don't say that again.
Well, that just shows you.
Go to our website, though, and you will see. Please don't do it yourself there as well. You want to get more leads in your business? Visit us at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business name out there to our growing audience. Our platinum sponsors have seen an 80% return on investment. Like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn, and follow us on our journey to extend hope and encouragement, help people realize their potential through networking, collaboration, and community involvement. And just come to have fun because that's what we like to do.
We love to do that.
Yeah, is Monday a
Yes.
good day for you?
Monday's my favorite day of the week.
Derek, especially when your husband's watching
10 teenagers
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, are you going home after this?
Yes. But real
Yeah.
quick, I do want to mention, Frank and I, the Be Encouraged show is going to be speaking on Wednesday, March 6th. Mark your calendars from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. And what are we speaking on again?
The tolerance scale.
The tolerance
Oh,
scale.
indeed.
Yes, so
Yeah.
it's at Gather, so mark your calendars. We'd love to have you all come and support us.
Indeed. It's going to be so much fun. It's an interactive session, so we don't want too many people there because it's kind of hard to interact with 50 people. But if you can make that, that's going to be more fun than you should be allowed to have. We'll be back here next week, God willing, and to be able to bring more people as we continue to infuse hope and encouragement into the world and be just an inspiration as you are.
As you are as well.
Yeah. The Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa on Monday. Thanks for being with us, guys. We have fun. Hopefully you do too. Pass on the word about our platform to other people so we can hit that 50,000 reach every week. And we're very, very close to doing that. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Bye, everyone.